Hello everyone, welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. This is Lendi Empire Season 1, Episode 6. Thank you so much for your patience. You're probably wondering what we're doing at Agnes's former home. She has moved back to this property because she wants to preserve her dignity. The house that Nuba bought for her and handed to her as a gift on her birthday is basically something that would continue to remind her of what's gone down between her and Nuba. The house is right back here, so I built them quite close together. And yeah, she's just preserving her self-respect, and she's decided to basically sell the house so she doesn't really lose anything, but she'd rather not stay here. So Nancy Landgrab did a great job and sold it for her, so the money is basically in her account as her own, and it makes more sense to stay in her own property. So as you can imagine, it won't be long before some Sims move in there. That would be interesting. So we're back here at her beautiful house. It's very elegant, it's bright, it's clean, it's airy, and it's the early hours of the morning. So here they are, the staff members are all waking up, and this is their quarters. Juliet is already on her way up, and Selena is out of her room. That's Juliet's room over there in the corner. And Khalid, of course, is still asleep. Maybe he had too much to drink at the bar. But he's up now, so that's great. And I need to get them changed before they actually pop upstairs. They need to be ready for the working day in their uniforms. I would have wished that when they got out of bed that they would just spin around into their uniforms, but sometimes you have to do this manually. So let's get them changing. And I've given every single outfit the actual uniform that they require, but I thought it would be nice to give them some pajamas at least. Now Juliet, I need you changed before Agnes wakes up, and I think she's already awake. I need to select her. Well, she's done it already. Good woman. This is why she is the head of the staff and is a great housekeeper. She's already about her business, tidying up and clearing out the smelly food from last night, and this is good. This is what Juliet does, and we are proud of her. She does her job, she does it with pride, and she leads by example. So you can see she was the first one up, and she is about her business as she should be. So of course it's quite easy for her to order the rest of the staff around because they've got nothing on her. Well, Khalid has taken his position behind the bar, and that's lovely. And Selena just needs to get into the office and get typing away. Now Agnes is awake. This is beautiful. And I would love to think that she had a good night rest, and they've settled into this house quite nicely. This is what she's used to. And I think she made the right choice. I would do the same. So of course, perhaps Juliet is asking if she had a good night rest. And of course she's placing her order for breakfast. And I would love for Juliet to get started with breakfast so that we can get on with Agnes's day. So let's serve breakfast, and I like pancakes. Let's go for pancakes. Pancakes any day. I think that now that things are settled in the house with Agnes, and she's quite happy back home, that the staff are a lot more warmer towards her, and everything seems to have returned back to normal. Now, this is not going to last for very long. Oh my goodness, because, you know, as I mentioned in the live speed build for the Haunted Vampire Mansion, you do remember that I said that this episode has a twist, and there was actually a misunderstanding. And now you're thinking, where was that misunderstanding? Anyway, I still will leave her in this house because it's the house that I made for the Let's Play, and it's basically her base. Now I'm going to get her to use the gym and just work out for a bit before she eats. What do you guys do? Do you work out first and then eat, or do you eat and then work out? I would prefer to work out and then have my metabolism pumping away and then eat. And I think the machine, chops the food down really faster, much faster that way. So let's get her to come downstairs and work it out first. And look at that dirty worktop. I need to get Juliet to clean clean it while I hang on to Agnes as she goes downstairs. So this is the basement, and I do realize in the Let's Play that you've not actually seen us make use of the space because that's where the staff live. But yeah, this time you get to see what it looks like. And the thing is, most of you, well, some of you don't have Sims 4, so it's nice to go around the whole house and make use of it so that you can see what's existing in the build. This outfit that she's wearing is one that she had on when I created this sim, and I think it's too old, so I'm going to stop her and put her in something that I had actually selected intentionally. It's lovely, I'm not saying it's not nice, lovely pink and white bottoms, but this is a favorite for me. This one here, so stop, Agnes, please. And there we go. Now, run with your chest out. That's interesting. Oh. Now she has a lovely helping of pancakes in her hand, and I think that's maple syrup or honey. I and my kids prefer chocolate spread. I'm not sure about maple syrup, but honey is good enough. But chocolate spread is what my kids would love to have. And in one swoop, she's already had half of those pancakes. Enough of the small talk, Juliet. Agnes has a long day ahead of her. So life has returned to normal for Agnes. She is paying attention to her businesses, her family. She does not miss a single date with her grandkids. Their favorite restaurant to go to is McDonald's, so she's brought them here to have a good time. And if you do have Sims 4, do realize that you can download this on the gallery right now. So yeah, this is a good distraction for her. And this is the thing, if she didn't get on with her life, then she would remain in a state, and that's not healthy. The other thing is, she is going to be having a lovely dinner at the end of the day with her son. Her sons used to be the men in her life, so they take her out for dinner. But this dinner was one to remember because they were at a restaurant where Lana Rose Chavez, the other woman, the actual lady who Agnes walked in on, is actually a chef at this restaurant. She's definitely going to run into them and she will recognize Agnes. And it will be quite the dinner to remember. So everything is going on as normal. She is keeping up to date with details about the business with her son. You know, obviously he's going to take over from her if she chooses to exit the planet. And, you know, it was the typical evening out with her son. But just then, rage broke out. This was quite embarrassing for Agnes, and it happened in the presence of quite a number of people. Now, this is a restaurant that Nuba has visited quite a number of times before with her, and someone, some way, has taken note of what's gone on, and in some way it gets back to Nuba because he is keeping an eye on Agnes, and this is certainly not what he would have expected. He wanted her to have some time to herself before he works his way back into her life and explains what went wrong. Now, you've all met Gian, who is Nuba's little brother who lives with him at this penthouse, but you've not met Nebel, his other younger brother, who's the most powerful vampire in my town, and Nuba's identical twin brother called Gunda. This is where the confusion started. Now news gets back to Nuba on what happened at the restaurant, and he's completely flustered because he wanted Agnes to have a bit of time to herself before he works his way back in to explain what happened.
Mola shoib.
These are the facts. Nuba was expecting a visitor. That was his twin brother Gunta, who makes a lot of decisions with him, and this was a big decision to buy a yacht. When Gunta met up with his girl, Nuba was actually in the basement of this beautiful yacht admiring his new possession. A source complained to Agnes that they had seen someone obviously who looked like Nuba with another lady in a compromising position. Nuba from the basement of his yacht contacted Agnes to say he was in town buying a yacht, but Agnes was in consultation with a bride and didn't take the call. While Gunta was in the company of this beautiful lady, Nuba was sat here being a very good boy. Agnes would have shown up at this yacht at this time and actually met both brothers, but she had gone off to take care of her grandchild at Aiganama's house. Now, as things began to steam up with the couple, Nuba decided to leave the yacht for a while and head down to one of the local bars to get himself a drink because he was going to spend the night in the yacht and have a good time with his brother. But as he left, that is the exact time that Agnes arrived and everything went left. When he got back, he was told by his brother that some crazy lady showed up and barged in on him and his girl, and the rest is history. Now, as soon as Nuba realized what had happened, he knew that this was a bad situation and it'd be really hard to convince her because he already had a reputation. This made Nuba very sad.
The fala. Sigura Quinarb. The Flarza. Guans Peyun. Swarspa. They Sedna. Oh.
Well, how do we fix this? I don't know. Well, Nuba's back here at the Oracle base where he works with a number of men, and I need to get him working up his programming skills level to level 8. We're almost there at level 8, so I'm just going to get him to start programming before I get the rest of the Oracle to show up and get to work at these massive mainframe hacking computers. And yeah, I think this basically is a space where they would hang out, smoke cigars, and, you know, joke about girls and money, and really it's basically supposed to be a male den, you know what I mean? So now that he is busy working away, actually he's only got one task, so I think I better keep him busy. Let me just get him to do a little bit more hacks, making some more viruses and so on, so he doesn't get up and walk away. And I say this because if I just leave him to it, he would get up and then probably go use another computer, and I want him to stay in this office really tied in before I start the Oracle gathering. What was that sound? That sounded like something was broken or someone's embarrassed. I mean, he has a staff member here who maintains the computers. He's fine. I don't know what that sound was, but anyway, now that he's set and in the zone, it's time for me to start the Oracle gathering. So his brother Nabal is one of the people who work as part of the Oracle, as well as Gunta. So most of them will be here. Sometimes they don't all show up because of the different jobs. But this is the outfit that they show up in. So you can't tell who is who. And as said before in, I think it was episode 2, some of them work for the government. And so they try to keep their identity hidden because they're corrupt. So they're all here, and I'm not sure why they're not coming in, to be honest. Maybe they all arrive before the doors open. I don't really know why they're not walking in. Oh, well, there you go. I thought the door was locked or something, but now they've come in. And I've got more men than I have computers, and that's okay. I suppose some of them would sit down and work with their brains, while the others would take different turns at these mainframe computers and basically start hacking. Now it's interesting because they are all covered up and I can't tell which one is Nabel or Gunther or anybody else's. This is what's broken. Oh my goodness, it's his main computer. And this does kill Sims. This is a complete disaster for me right now. I've had a number of Sims die because they were trying to fix something and it doesn't have the replace button because this is not his home. So I can only hope that he's able to fix this computer. Well, he's happy. He's not in a bad mood. I'm hoping he can do it. I mean, if he dies right here before you all, it's not live, so I would have to obviously edit it out and maybe get a different saved game to complete this scene. But my goodness, I'm really rooting for him because I really don't need him dead in this minute. Oh my goodness. This is going on forever. Yes, he's done it. He's done it. Okay, let me get him back on. So, because I need him to get to level 8 with his programming skills. It's also part of his work as an oracle, so that's good for me. That's why I get him out here to do this. So, make a plugin. No. And where is it? Where is it? There we go. Make a virus. Yes. There we go. I think he's now hooked in. So what was I saying? I was saying that because they're all covered up, it's difficult to identify which one is Nabel. And I need him to... We've got a pile of rubbish here. I need him to level up in this... Actually, there you go. He has level 8 of the programming skill. So that's done. So in a little while, I'm going to stop them all because there's just no way of me being able to tell who is who or if Nabel even attended. Let's see. It's already daytime, so their shift is over. Could you imagine what it would look like if they came out the building with these masks on their faces? Oh my goodness. This is a little tour for you. I have the kitchen area over here. It's quite nice and neat. They get some drinks here, some coffee, a large telly on that wall, and an area to sit down and, chat. They should have a pool table. And then they have a restroom at the back here. So, yeah, this is basically the space that they work in. And then you have Nuba's office. So we're done. I'm satisfied with the fact that they are, Nuba's completed. So I'm going to end the gathering. Nuba's got his level 8 programming skill done. And where is Nabel? There he is. You spotted him. There he is. So the reason I need him to speak with Nabel is because he's a vampire and he does more of the dirty work, harming people and so on. So he uses his brother Nabel to do that sort of work. So I'm happy I've been able to get him to hang out and he didn't just take off. So that's great. And let's see. Come on. Let's create a scene here, shall we? Yes, I love the hug. So basically at this point he speaks to, oh, that's good, he's sad so he can complain. So he speaks to his younger brother Nabel about the situation with this girl and how it's basically ruined his chances of trying to get back in touch with Agnes, and he's been waiting a while for Agnes to cool down, but now Agnes has been riled up again. So obviously Nabel says to him, well, this is Gunther's girl, and don't worry, I'm just filling out the household needs because I'm tired of him looking so miserable. But he says, this is Gunther's girl, and, I think you might want to have a chat with him if he's okay with it. And then, of course, if he's alright with that, I don't mind having the girl over for dinner. Now, bear in mind what I just said, having the girl over for dinner. Oh my god. And you're going to obviously understand what kind of dinner that is. I'm sure you already know by now. So, Nuba takes the advice of his brother Nabal and shows up in Forgotten Hollow to come and have a quick word with Gunther, who is home. Gunther stays in this house with Nabal. And as you can imagine, Nabal is already in the basement taking a debt nap. So here's Gunther, who's a splitting image of Nuba. They are identical twins, and basically they're going to just have a quick chat about the girl that he had a minute with in the yacht. Obviously they're brothers, so they're close and they don't want to step on each other's toes. Their brotherhood is more important than any woman, although Agnes is very important to Nuba. So basically they talk about it, and I think Gunther is even surprised and says, well, I don't even remember this lady, do whatever you want. It's settled. Lana Rose Chavez has a date with Gunther, but she doesn't really know the kind of dinner that she's been invited to. So this is her home. We did a speed build for this house. And this is her little brother who, has just helped himself to a bowl of cereal and has made such a huge mess. And Lana Rose Chavez has to clean up after him. She is not a mum or a parent. So her house is glamorous, and this is the idea of this build. But you have a child who makes a huge mess. And that's the contrast that you see in this space. This keeps her really irritated with the little boy, and part of her trait is that she hates kids. So Grayson is an innocent child. He has no idea what the world is about and how dark it can be. He just loves his cereal and loves to engage in his schoolwork. And, I think that Lana Rose Chavez has done the best that she can for him. But her dangerous lifestyle might not create the kind of security that he needs in order for her to be around, for him to depend on. It's dangerous to live that way. So she's cleaning up after him. She is ready to go to work tonight. I'm going to get him to do some work in this space here. That's why I have a large space here. In Sims Freeplay, I built this cozy home. And I created a large space in the entrance so that the kids could get busy in that space. And I had the same idea for this build in Sims 4. So he's going to get to work in that space. And I think when he finishes that, it's supposed to be this massive volcano. But anyway... She's going to try and get a little nap because she's going to be going to work this evening. And here's a quick tour of the upstairs part of the house. I had to change the items in the bathroom, just move it around because it wasn't functional. And now it works, so it's different. And this house is up on the gallery for you to download. So, everything is the same. Everything is the same. So I would think that she should come out and assist him with his work. But again, as I say, she's not a parent. So he is left to his devices most of the time. And I think she's doing her very best under the circumstances. But yeah, she is going to start work in an hour. So that's beautiful. So again, looks like she's trying to get some sleep, and I don't want her to miss this evening. Here's the thing, she's not really going to work, but she does dress up as though she is. Well, today that is. But this is the day that Gunther has invited her over for, in quote, a dinner. So she still thinks that she has something going on with Gunther, and so she gets dressed as she should do when leaving the house. And her little brother here thinks, oh, she's off to work. And then halfway down the street, she gets changed into something glamorous. This she would always do if she was going somewhere else other than the workplace. So, I think that as a result, the little boy is like a young adult. He gets to stay in this house alone sometimes because there are days when she's not able to get a nanny over to sit around with him. Well, not a nanny, like a babysitter. But, yeah, let's see. 12 minutes. I'm waiting for her to get up. Come on. So, today there's no babysitter. I think over the days he's become quite mature and sort of takes care of himself. So I want her to give him a hug. And this is something you must always remember. You must hug your loved ones because you don't know whether it be the last time that you get to see them or if something happens to them. You know, it'd be quite sad. And she didn't even give him a hug. Well, now, of course, because he is mature, doesn't change the fact that he's still a young person. He cannot be responsible 100% of the time. So as you can imagine, he stops his work. He's no longer motivated to stay focused. And then, of course, he pops up to his room to, get on the computer and, get involved in a kid's chat room. This is the thing that someone like him would have to deal with, since he doesn't have a real mum and dad to take care of him and to pay attention to him. You know, what do you think? I mean, is it enough to have a house, have shelter, food, and all the bare necessities? Is it something that would be much better than, say, having a parent? I don't think so. Lana Rose Chavez has arrived at this beautiful mansion. She's expecting to have dinner with Gunther. This relationship might be going much further than she thought. How great. During a little chat that she has with him, she points out that she had run into the lady that interrupted their romantic evening, and you know, she goes right into it and starts to tell him what she had done. It's interesting because he's taken aback because this is the reason why she is here. And you know, she revels in the fact that she, you know, messed up the lady's dinner. Well, I don't think that's a good idea. You've just confirmed why you are here, Lana Rose Chavez. You've just confirmed. So this is the room up top, and the speed build for this is on the channel, so you can have a look at that, and you can download it on the gallery right now as we speak. But she needs to go up there and get refreshed. That's where they send their ladies to go and get cleaned up and come down for a beautiful dinner. And this is Nabal the vampire's chamber. Now we have a ghost that is basically an example of what many of the women who come to this property end up as. And she's like Dracula's bride, stood there guarding the coffin. Maybe we'll have two jealous ghosts, who knows? Where are they? I thought, oh no, they're still in conversation and it's past 10 o'clock. Let's stop this conversation. I need her upstairs because it's time. She needs to get cleaned up for dinner. I think the door is locked, that's why. I usually lock it when I play with this house. I usually lock the door when the girls come in here and the vampire comes in for a dinner. So come up here, my love. Come up here. Usually they would have, or the idea is that they would have a beautiful dress in this room for the dinner lady to put on and come down for dinner. So, you know, she thinks she's onto something fantastic, you know, and she's coming here to basically refresh herself. But it's dinner time.
Vadish.
Ooh, her grip.